together. From our first trip down here in 1987, we drove to Dallas from Wisconsin in our unair-conditioned Ford Tempo to 7 consecutive years leading the #1 sales unit in the country, to having my mom and dad here along with our 3 children. My dad's stage appearances at awards night became legendary as his speeches got longer and longer each year. Debuting as a national sales director in 2000 and reaching the inner circle our first year were unforgettable highlights. Thank you, Madson and Ponco national areas, for continuing to build a legacy of leaders around the country. Thank you, Sue, for being an amazing Offspring national sales director and friend. A big thank you to Ryan Rogers and the Rogers family for continuing to hold true to Mary Kay's dream of enriching women's lives. Thank you to Nathan Moore, our president of global sales, along with Allison Sellers and her team, and every Mary Kay employee. I'd like to give a special shout out to Mike Strong, Managing Director of Diamond and Ruby. Mike is my go-to guy at corporate. I'm sure there are times he cringes when he sees my name on his phone, but he always answers and he's always helpful. Thank you, Mike. When I started my Mary Kay business back in October of 1986, my husband and I were living paycheck to paycheck, and we're trying to find a way for me to earn a little extra money for our family. I did have one small expectation. After I signed my beauty consultant agreement, my initial goal was to see if I could earn $70 a week, which would allow me to replace my very part-time job that I had as a cashier at a nearby farm store. Keep in mind, this was a job where they had given me a blue smock to wear with the name Vicky embroidered on the front. That was such an uplifting position. Standing on a concrete floor behind a cash register with somebody else's name on my smock, and then going home at night smelling like a tire. Fun times, fun times. How quickly my expectations changed. During my first week in the business, I held 5 selling appointments and sold $682 worth of product. That was my start, and that was all it took to get my husband fully on board, even after he told me the day I signed up, "You can do it. Don't expect any help from me." Right, honey? We got to meet Mary Kay several times over the course of the following years. At seminar, as a member of the National Court of Sales, we got to visit Mary Kay's home and to talk to her. There was something magical about her that's hard to describe. She took the time to talk to each person that came to her home. She was funny and encouraging and always a great storyteller. Even though she founded the company and ran it for many years, she was never the boss to anybody in the sales force. As independent contractors, the only boss you have is you. Still, Mary Kay had a way of setting expectations for each of us. She knew what worked because she had designed the marketing plan herself, and then she and other pioneers in the company tested it over and over again. When she talked about the company's philosophies or implemented strategies or made suggestions, it was because she knew what worked. God first, family second, career third. She knew that if you kept your priorities in order, things in your life and your business would tend to work out better. When she talked about golden rule living, it wasn't some empty platitude. It was based on a tried and true biblical principle that you should do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When it came to visualizing each person with a sign around her neck that said, "Make me feel important," Mary Kay set the best example of anyone I've ever known. When it came to the nuts and bolts of the business, Mary Kay referred to her own marketing plan as KISS. Keep it simple, sweetie. Book, coach, sell, rebook, team build. Then teach others to do the same, and repeat, repeat, repeat. That's our business in a nutshell. Mary Kay knew how to book. She believed in her own product, and she knew that other women would too. She taught us how to book parties from parties, the quickest and easiest way to keep our date books filled. Mary Kay taught us how to coach the hostess before a party to maximize potential for success. Her booking and coaching scripts worked. Trust me, I used them right out of the gate and still use them today. Mary Kay taught us how to close a sale at the end of the appointment. Nothing happens until somebody sells something. Those words should be on the minds of every independent beauty consultant, sales director, and national sales director at all times. Finally, Mary Kay taught us how to build our personal teams. She practiced the 3-foot rule and encouraged others to do the same. I still get excited when I meet someone that I know would be good at this business. Over the nearly 40 years of my Mary Kay business, thousands of women have been a part of the Madson unit and Madson national area. Not all of them stayed. Some women discovered it wasn't for them, but God bless them for trying. And some women have stayed around for decades in a part-time capacity. Some women gave this business their all, like I did. This year, we have 4 triple-star sales directors in our top 10. Amy Hannaful, Allie McMahon, Carolyn Makeup, and Danny Sadler. Rounding out the top 10 are Shannon DuBois, Carrie Johnson, Heather Juleson, Heidi Keneally, Andrea Krause, and Becky Rogers. Congratulations to these women and their units for leading the way in the Madson national area. There aren't enough hours in the day to crow about all the successes in our area, but I'd like to share 2 quick ones. Sales Director Danny Sadler is a middle school math teacher. She became a sales director in January of 2023, and she worked her business along with her teaching job. She had her first baby last Christmas Eve. She and her husband had discussed whether or not she could go back to work, or she could go back to work after her 8-week maternity leave. Guess what? The school district made the choice for her. They called Danny in when her daughter was 2 months old and told her they were cutting her position along with many others, despite the fact she had seniority in her department. Funny thing is, when she told me she'd been let go, she sounded almost giddy, like she was excited. Danny knew the potential that her business offered, and now she's running full steam ahead. 9 years ago, Sales Director Allie McMahon came to a guest event for a makeover. She was a referral from a friend who was a bride. After starting her business, she put in minimal effort for 6 years due to her busy teaching schedule. In 2020, after losing her dad, having fertility issues, and generally feeling lost, she made the decision to put more time and effort into her business. Fast forward to 2024. Allie has 2 beautiful boys, a husband who is extremely supportive, and a thriving brand new Cadillac sales unit. On a recent call with my area, Sales Director Allie said, "My Mary Kay business was the backup plan I never knew I needed until I needed it." It's been a wonderful outlet for the competitive, high-achieving side of my personality. I get to call the shots, I get to decide my own destiny, and I get to design my own future. I'll never forget what my first national sales director, Arlene Linares, told us at my first seminar. Tell the world your goals, and if people don't laugh at you, they're not big enough. July 1st of this year marked the beginning of my final seminar year as a national sales director. I'm not gonna lie, we have an audacious goal. Our goal is to be recognized at my final seminar as the #1 national area in all of North America. Now, given the fact that we dropped from number 3 to number 5 and missed Platinum Inner Circle for only the 3rd time in 17 years, y'all might think we're a little crazy. But like my daughter, Sales Director Rachel Zarling once told me after we missed a huge goal, "Mom, a setback is the setup for a comeback. So watch us this year. I'm telling you right now. Our sales directors are refusing to back down. They're refocusing on their personal and their unit goals, which will contribute to our area goals. They're energized and they're enthusiastic. They're excited to turn this dream into a reality. In the Madson area, we are not into lowering goals. We are into raising activity levels and doing all the basic things that Mary Kay Ash would expect and encourage. As sales directors and beauty consultants, I'd suggest that you ask yourself this question: what can I do today, right now, to move forward in my business and set up myself for a great future? There's a great line from author J.D. Vance's best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, where he writes, "Where we come from is who we are, but we choose every day who we become." The time is now, people. The place is here. Stay in the present with the eye to the future. You can't do anything to change the past, but you can do daily activities to change your future. So work in the now. Mary Kay always referred to her marketing plan as the ladder of success. If you've ever climbed a ladder, you know that it takes a coordinated bodily effort. It's no different in your Mary Kay business. It takes a coordinated effort by you and other members of your family, your personal team, sales unit, or national area. If your husband doesn't seem supportive, give him a reason to see this as a legitimate way to add income to your family budget. If your kids don't seem engaged, give them a reason to be helpful. Plan a special trip for them and make some money to pay for it, you guys. When you have your family engaged, you can accomplish anything. We did this as a family. Early on in my business, Dan and I would take our kids on a great trip each spring break. They loved it. Today, with us living in Florida and our kids living in Wisconsin and California, we are able to facilitate trips to see all of them several times a year. But the highlight of our year is the week when our entire family gathers together in Florida. Our 3 kids and their spouses get to hang out, as well as our 7 beautiful grandchildren. We have a sign in our kitchen that says, "Grandpa and Grandma's house, where cousins become best friends." If you're a beauty consultant and you want to climb the next rung on the ladder of success, plug yourself into your sales director for guidance. If you're a sales director and you want to climb to the next rung, plug yourself into your senior sales director or your national sales director or others in the sales force who are where you'd like to be. Gather ideas and inspiration from those that have achieved what you want, and then structure a plan of action to get to that next step. Mary Kay always said, "Hitch your wagon to a star." If you've ever been stuck in your career, perhaps you've experienced a strange tickling sensation on the bottom of your feet. Do you know what that is? It's the grass growing under your feet. That can only happen if you're standing still. It won't happen if you're running full speed ahead. Believe it or not, there are things you can accomplish this afternoon to bring you closer to your goals for this seminar year. Why wait? Make that call to a woman who intimidates you. Follow up with that person you met on the plane to Dallas. Get your date books out and make some booking calls so that when you get home, you'll have some parties waiting for you. Before you can run at full throttle, you have to start the engine. You have 0 team members right now? So what? There are women in your circle of influence that need Mary Kay. Talk to them. You've never earned the use of a Mary Kay career car? So what? There's a fleet of cars out there just waiting for you. You've never traveled on a top sales director trip? So what? There are plane tickets and hotel reservations with your name on them. Mary Kay kept a copy of a prayer in the top drawer of her desk. I pray a version of this prayer not only for myself, but for everybody in the Madson National area. Lord, Grant that each person who deals with me today may be happier for it. Grant me the wisdom of a loving heart that I might say things rightly. Keep me alive to the feelings of each person present. Give me a quick eye for little kindnesses that I might be ready to do them. Give me an honest perception of the feelings of others and help me to be eager in helping them. Let's all follow those words as we continue to build the Mary Kay brand and live the Mary Kay philosophies and help other women climb the ladder of success. Remember, life only changes when you are willing to make changes. May God bless each and every one of you. Have a great seminar.